Pennsylvania's state system of higher education. 14 universities, infinite opportunities. This week, we explore the opportunities available at Kutztown University. First, we'll hear from University President Kenneth Hawkinson.
Hello, I'm Frank Brogan, the Chancellor of the Pennsylvania State System of Higher Education. We're delighted to have you with us today as we continue to explore the infinite opportunities that are provided in the 14 universities that make up our state university system here in Pennsylvania. We're going to be talking about one of our universities on today's program and have the opportunity to hear from its brand new president, Dr. Kenneth Hawkinson. But first, a little bit about Kutztown University. I think one of the magic of our university systems lie in its rich and deep history. And in this particular case, Kutztown University was established in 1866. That date's going to be important in a few minutes as Dr. Hawkinson tells us a little bit about the celebration that's about to take place at Kutztown. It's a marvelous university located in beautiful Berks County, Pennsylvania, and tucked neatly just adjacent to the borough of Kutztown, altogether providing a fantastic physical setting for higher education. But what takes place in the classrooms and laboratories of Kutztown speaks for itself. They are certainly one of our shining stars. Dr. Kenneth Hawkinson has just, as I mentioned, recently joined us. He was the longtime provost at Western Illinois University. He also has a background in the United States military, which I find interesting and probably serves him very well and will in his current capacity. But all of that having been said, welcome, Dr. Kenneth Hawkinson, not only to our program, but very much to our system of higher education and to all of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. I'd love, and I think our viewers would love to hear, how have you found it thus far? And very excited about what will be transpiring over the course of this next year relative to that 1866 date I mentioned earlier.
Well, I'm just delighted to be at Kutztown University. It's a special place, and I'm coming at a very special time. As you said, we are gearing up for our sesquicentennial celebration. 150 years ago, the university was founded just after the Civil War. And coinciding with that, the town, or the borough of Kutztown, is celebrating their bicentennial currently. In fact, I spent the last couple weeks going to events virtually every day in the borough. And just to give you an example of one event, it was a tour of all the old homes in the town, going back over 200 years. They expected 30 people, and 250 people showed up. They had to call on the police to close down the streets as we walked through the town. And I learned through that evening that Kutztown was founded as a crossroads between Reading and Allentown. They would ride on their horses one day, 20 miles. They would stop, they'd stay in one of the many hotels there and perhaps have dinner and a drink at one of the many taverns there and then move on. And that's so symbolic of what universities are, a crossroads. And that's, I'm sure that contributed to the university being placed in Kutztown. And as we enter the sesquicentennial celebration, I think back to a wonderful saying, and that is that the past is not over. The past is not even the past. We live in a continual present. And as we work with our 9,000 students, in the present, we must always remember all those who came before us. We must celebrate our 150 years of history and create a learning environment that will ensure a bright and inspiring future for our students as we go forward.
Well, I know I speak for myself as the Chancellor and here for just about 2 years, how excited I was to be a part of all of this in Pennsylvania, find the richness and the history steeped in each of our 14 universities, as we like to call it, possessing infinite opportunities for our students. But I could not be happier for you, not only that you're here, but that you and your wonderful wife have arrived at such an important time in the history of Kutztown University. And as you all work very hard to build the future of Kutztown while honoring its past. I wanted to talk about something that I think translates and will translate this year beautifully to the celebration. Kutztown is known for its visual and performing arts programs and the curriculum, the wonderful faculty, and the many students who've passed through it and are now out there doing amazing things in those areas. Can you tell us a little bit about what you have found about visual and performing arts since your arrival at Kutztown?
We have wonderful facilities in the performing and visual arts. The new Schaefer Auditorium with a multi-million-dollar renovation occurred in recent years, as well as the arts building has been completely renovated. It has a state-of-the-art art gallery. Our faculty are leading performers and artists. They have national reputations, and it's one of the programs that really attracted my attention when I was looking at moving away from Illinois and looking at some of the universities and programs that exist around the country, and certainly the visual and performing arts were one of those programs, and it's now one of our programs of distinction. And we have other great programs there. Our physical sciences with a planetarium and observatory in place. We just had approved a doctorate in social work, and so now we will be able to send out professionals out into the world to help people in cities and towns across the country through that program. And of course, teacher education, which is at our base as a normal school. That's what got us going. That we'll always cling to that foundation. But of course, we're spreading out from that foundation into other areas. Another important program, an area of distinction, is our business school is now accredited. And we're one of only 4 or 5 schools in the Pennsylvania system, and only about 5% of business schools worldwide attain this accreditation. So that's going to make a big difference in the lives of our students.
Well, you know, like you, because I'm still, I suppose, relatively new to Pennsylvania, new because there's so much to see and experience in this marvelous Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. One of the things that I have found, and as my wife and our son have found, is the incredible richness and history associated with Pennsylvania Dutch country. This is especially meaningful to Kutztown, Berks County, and Kutztown University. The idea that the German Heritage Cultural Center resides there and has become a very important part not only of that area, but of Kutztown University. Can you tell us a little bit about what you have found in that regard?
This center is just a very important center for education and culture with the Pennsylvania in the Pennsylvania German history. We have a major folklore festival that's world-renowned each year. I was very fortunate to be here in time to be able to attend many of the events associated with that festival. On campus, we do have this Pennsylvania German Center where we have barns, cabins, an old schoolhouse, and we have a schedule of special events so that we can bring children and tourists and others onto our campus and onto our center, and they can go back in time and they can see how people lived their lives hundreds of years ago when the city was settled, and 150 years ago when the university was settled. And this will be one of my top priorities in the coming years, is to do much more to support the center, to have it advance, and for it truly to be a repository of the language, the history, and the culture of those who settled this region of Pennsylvania.
I can't let you get away today without talking about another distinction for Kutztown University, and that's the fact that your school's mascot, and we have 14 of them out there, was elevated this year to the first time ever winning position in the Mascot Mania contest that took place system-wide. Tell us about Avalanche.
Avalanche is amazing, and so are the students who have performed as Avalanche in the past years. It's enriched their lives, it's changed their lives. They've gone on to very successful careers in events planning, in the entertainment field, and I'm very interested in the whole idea of a mascot, because the mascots come from the Trickster in folklore, and my research area involves oral tradition and the Trickster. And Carl Jung, he identified as the Trickster as one of the archetypes that we're all born with deep in our unconscious. And the Trickster is the person who can break the rules, who can go beyond the boundaries, and especially as a mascot, who is anonymous, under the costume that they're wearing. And that especially allows them to do things that they would never do if people knew who they really were. And as an audience member, you look at the mascot and you can displace yourself into the antics of that mascot, and you too can break the rules, you can be silly, and you can, through that silliness and the antics, you can be set free, just as that trickster is being set free.
Well, I know that having been exposed to Avalanche, the bear, I can see why he was selected, because he fits every one of those categories beautifully. And again, it's one small example of so much of the excitement that is Kutztown University. Deep and important curricular issues, but also the extra and co-curricular issues that just make Kutztown such a dynamic place. So our time has ebbed away quickly, but I cannot stop without, first of all, thanking you for taking time from your busy schedule, especially as such a new president, to be with us on our program. But more importantly, perhaps, welcome you and your wife again to the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania and to our state system. Welcome again, Ken, and thanks for being with us today.
Thank you.
Coming up next, explore more opportunities offered at Kutztown University.
Invest in me.
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 I'll be your future public servant.
I'll be your future advertising executive.
I'll be your future accountant.
I will be your future motivational speaker.
I'll be your future lawmaker.
I will be your future teacher.
Invest in me. I'll be your future videographer.
Welcome back to Infinite Opportunities. Next, we'll learn more about Kutztown Professor Ed Simpson's research into an unusual natural occurrence.
Salton Sea, Southern California, March 2013. Thousands of rotting fish wash up on the shoreline of this giant lake. Ed Simpson at Kutztown University in Pennsylvania thinks prevailing winds only make matters worse.
The invitation came as a result of a presentation we gave at the National Geologic Society of America meeting in 2013 in Denver, Colorado. Live Science, who's an online science magazine, sent a reporter to our poster session. She liked the poster, she wrote it up, and it became a featured article on livescience.com. The Pioneer Communications, who has produced the segment, The Strangest Weather on Earth, picked up, noticed that article, contacted me, and I sent them a whole series of information. They pitched it to the producer, and they picked it up as part of the new series on the Weather Channel.
Ed Simpson and his team investigate. They take specimens back to the lab.
This is what we found at the Salton Sea. We didn't know what they were, so what we did was we brought some back to try and investigate. And running the analysis, what we discovered were these were actually the soft tissue of fish.
The spheres are made up of decomposing fish flesh, broken down by bacteria in the lake into a strange, wax-like substance, and mysteriously brought up from the depths.
What the Weather Channel is going to focus on is a occurrence of spheres of what is called adipocere, which is basically parts of dead fish. And this is an unusual occurrence that has never been described anywhere else in the world. And what happens is it is related to high wind events that take place on the Salton Sea. So what we did was we collected these spheres and brought them back to the laboratory, where our analytical chemist Tom Betts did the chemistry on them. Kurt Freehoff and a student did the scanning electron microscope work, and another student did some more chemistry on it. So it's a multi-pronged project, and the Weather Channel was interested in this weather, wind, and unusual occurrence of these spheres at the Salton Sea. what we typically do here at Kutztown is we will find a scientific problem and we'll set undergraduates on it. And the fact that this work has been recognized internationally is an affirmation and tells us at Kutztown, we're doing significant scientific research that can be brought out to scientists across the world. And that opportunity that recognition opens up lots of opportunities for students to go to graduate school, to do a variety of things, because they get the publications on their vitas, and it just recognition of what kind of work they did as an undergraduate.
Next, we'll discover how internship programs at Kutztown provide real-world experiences for students to build their careers on outside of the classroom.
At Kutztown University, we have several programs that require internships, including sport management and leadership, electronic media, social work, and professional writing. Additionally, we have many programs that encourage internships for students, including environmental science, biology, psychology, history, criminal justice, and business. Students can work with their advisor to choose a particular internship site. It might be a small business, it might be a large corporation. And they're able to then use the skills that they have acquired in the classroom, as well as practicing those soft skills that are very important in working out in the business world. One of our students here at Kutztown, Ben Hoffman, who is a dual major in fine arts and art education, had a wonderful opportunity last summer to intern at the Philadelphia Museum of Art.
We get hundreds of applications to be an intern here at the Philadelphia Museum of Art. This year we selected just 50, and then from those 50, Ben was one of 10 that was chosen to be in the education department, so it is quite a special elite crew that we had with us.
At the Philadelphia Museum of Art, I had 4 main responsibilities on a day-to-day basis. The first was our summer camp groups, where students came in each and every day to experience art and make it accessible. The second was our family and community engagement in the Art Splash Studio, where we made art with families and experienced it in a great new way. The third was being a greeter, where every day I had the opportunity to meet with people as they came in and talk to them about art and share that experience. And lastly, was going out to libraries and bringing art to those students who couldn't come to the museum.
The Philadelphia Museum of Art offers this internship program for a number of reasons. Firstly, to provide an opportunity for students to work in a variety of different departments in the museum and be exposed to everything that happens on a daily basis here. There's a museum studies component to the program where students, all the interns work together throughout the summer and learn about all the departments, and then they work specifically in one throughout.
But I also think that we do it so that we can learn from the interns themselves. We get a great new bunch of energy, and it's wonderful because we learn from them just as much as they learn from us.
Ben is amazing. He was great. He was natural with kids of all ages. It was really great to see him grow as a teacher also while he was here. He did amazing work in preparing his lesson plans. He was always extremely professional, and I think most importantly, he was just a pleasure to work with and really kind and open to everyone who he worked with.
It was here at KU that I learned how to teach. It's about teaching to each individual and seeing how you can speak to every individual's needs. I found a way to make myself approachable and understandable and find ways to make learning enjoyable to everyone of every age, honestly.
He just has a great interaction with the students. He has such a great rapport with them. When we saw him teach, we knew that we needed to figure out a way to keep him on, and we have. And so he helps us out with these wonderful family events, and to see him interact with the children, and even, my goodness, with the adults is just something that is so beautiful.
Having finished my internship at the museum, I was invited to stay on within the education department, and my once supervisors, now serving as colleagues, has been nothing but a great experience.
Ben is just one example of a student who's had a life-changing experience at his internship site. All students who participate in internships have the opportunity to add a line to their resume and increase their employability.
Next, we'll learn how the Kutztown University Presidential Ambassadors contribute to the university and the community.
Or contribute to the 150th Scholarship Fund. You just go to the website, kutztownufoundation.org. The Kutztown University Ambassadors are a wonderful organization, and I feel so proud to be their advisor. They serve many roles for the university. One is they are the face of the student body with the university, and they work as a bridge between the student body and our alumni relations office.
Tend to be leaders in other areas of their academic life, student government leaders, athletes, musicians, people engaged in many, many different areas across campus.
The main responsibilities of the KU ambassadors is to promote KU pride, most importantly, and also to connect current KU students with faculty, staff, the president's office, as well as connect them with KU alumni. And our main focus as of late is focusing on philanthropy through KU pride events around campus.
We serve as the right hand to the President's office and work closely with the KU Foundation, maintaining and promoting a sense of community here at Kutztown.
One of the ambassadors' roles is to build a culture of philanthropy here at Kutztown University. So the discussion was, how do we do that with our current student body? And we wanted to revitalize the senior class gift program. So what ambassadors have done is they've created a senior class program this year in honor of the S2E17, where seniors can give $20.16 back to the university. This then goes into the 150th Scholarship Fund, which also ties in with the 50th class reunion group, also giving back to that scholarship fund. Seniors can give $20.16, and when they do so, they receive a lapel pin, which they can then wear during commencement. Grin and Bear It was started by ambassadors because they saw a need to build KU pride and to start a tradition on campus. So what ambassadors do is they roam around campus and swap out shirts with either students who are wearing another university's shirt or with students who are showing a lot of KU pride. When they swap out these shirts, they also hand them a Pay It Forward card, which ranges from activities such as contributing to their senior class gift or performing a random act of kindness, whatever they choose it to be, back on Kutztown's campus. Dinner with Golden Bears is a program that we started last year and actually has grown to 18 tables this year. It's where an alum sits down at a table over dinner with current KU students and discusses anything from their major to how to apply for a job. This program has been very, very exciting because it's a way for us to bring alumni back onto campus and engage them with current students. And current students are excited about it because it allows them a chance to ask very candid questions that they might not get a chance to ask anywhere else. Alumni love the presidential ambassadors. And I truly cannot say that enough. They absolutely love them. Community members love the presidential ambassador. Friends of the universities love them. Whether they're working side by side with them at a specific function or they're taking a tour with them, they are a cheerful, happy face of the university, and an alum is enthusiastic about Kutztown after they've met with them.
I think the biggest thing that I learned is don't be afraid to be a leader. Don't be afraid to jump out of your comfort zone, and don't be afraid to try new things. Because if it wasn't for keeping those in mind when joining the organization, I never would have. And now I know when I graduate in May, I still will have this KU community, and it's still somewhere that I can call home.
I learned that once you graduate from Kutztown University, you will always be a Golden Bear. And it's never too late to come back to campus and to give back any way you can and still stay connected with this university.
Their enthusiasm and their support for our university is magnetic. It radiates through the entire campus, and so it spreads to all the other students, it spreads to the community. They are an organization that has great pride in our university and wants to demonstrate that pride at every opportunity possible, and so they're real cheerleaders for the university.
Next, we'll see how Kutztown University is providing upgraded living learning communities to enhance the educational experience for their students.
The Tri-County Residence Halls were originally built and opened in 1962. They housed the female residents of the campus. Over time, our students' needs have changed tremendously with technology, and we needed to take the opportunity to renovate and upgrade to be sure that we're really accommodating today's students' needs. The renovation included upgrading technology, access to the internet, collaboration space through study lounges, recreation space, including pool tables, ping pong tables, a full kitchen, and then also space for faculty to be able to come into the living learning communities and interact with their students in another way. A living learning community is a residential environment on campus where both students and faculty come together with a common interest. In addition, there is professional and student staff in every residential environment working with the living learning community students for a common purpose, a common goal for both academic success and personal growth. Kutztown University offers a variety of living learning communities in the Tri-County residential area, which includes Lehigh Hall, Schuylkill Hall, and Berks Hall. In Lehigh Hall, we host the art program, Frederick Douglass Institute, and exploratory studies. In Schuylkill Hall, we have physical sciences, biology, and the freshman honors program. And in Berks Hall, we have the business program and the education program.
So nationally, we know that things like living learning communities are very successful in helping students make an effective transition into college. And so they're not a new approach. They've been used in many places with great success. Here at Kutztown, we have a really diverse population that comes in. We have our freshmen, we have our commuters, we have students transitioning from community colleges. Freshmen can be particularly vulnerable because they're making so many transitions at once. And living learning communities allow us to provide that support early on in their very first few weeks and months, and that allows them to rapidly establish a community when they most need that kind of structure. One thing that we do to contribute to student success is we have tutors available on the floor 4 nights a week. These are upper class physical science students who can help tutor in classes, including science classes and math classes. So not only can students get support from their faculty during the day, but we have upper class students available to support them in the evenings.
One of the things we wanted to be sure was when we did these renovations is that we provided space for faculty and students to be able to meet and collaborate and interact. So we made sure that each residence hall had a faculty office with the appropriate equipment in place that they could sit down one-on-one or in small groups to talk to their students about academics. In addition to the lounge space like we're sitting in today, where they can do small group activities, have an opportunity to interact with their faculty in different ways than they would in the classroom.
Outside of the classroom, our faculty are committed to working with the living learning community. So for example, before advising, a group of faculty come in and meet with the students in small groups about what to expect and how to make that efficient and effective process as they go through advisement. We also have informal dining groups where faculty will come and have dinner with students. And those are all opportunities for students to make connections with both their own faculty and faculty they'll see in future years. As we look at the diverse students that now make up our 21st century college students, there's a great range in their experience, and building community is more challenging than ever. Living learning communities are one approach that we can take to help transition our students from the high school experience into a successful college experience.
Come back next week to learn more of the infinite opportunities at the state system's 14 universities, or visit us online